folks, Kathy Williams-DeVries here, bringing you a tutorial video with a slight difference. I'm going to be looking at Scheherazade, the clarinet excerpt, the vivo. So in addition to the excerpt, I'm actually also going to introduce you to a Polatschek Study number 3 after Rimsky-Korsakoff's Scheherazade, which not only contains the excerpt, but also explores it in different keys. So if we take the actual notes of Scheherazade, I will play it just a little bit slower. Note that I'm actually doing this on B flat. But if you'll take it a little bit slower. Very good for using the left hand pinky keys, which usually don't get a huge amount of a workout. So I'll outline the difficulties in the actual excerpt. Note in the 4th bar of the excerpt you will need to use the left hand C. I mean, I don't have particular trouble with so you're using the left hand C sharp there as well. So that's pretty straightforward. Where it becomes difficult is in the second part. And there's a really nasty passage work. So going from A flat to G to B flat. So that So, the way I would go about practicing this excerpt is I would start at 60. That's a pretty good tempo to start at. And then I would gradually increase it. So this is 68. And also resist the urge to rush in the 3rd bar, because it is easier and the tendency is to rush a little bit. Sorry, I lost concentration there. So then gradually increase it, take it up to 76. And so on. So now we've got the excerpt all right. If you practice this Polatschek study, you will find that it just instantly becomes so much easier. There's so many little different variations on melody. The beginning of it is taken from the latter part of the excerpt, and it's probably the most difficult part, because you're going G, A flat, B flat, A flat. And again, all sorts of interesting things can happen, and I'm hoping that I do some of those things wrong so I can show you what can go wrong. See what can happen if you're not concentrating. Alright, so I would actually take it slow. So I would take it back down to 60. This is what I would do. I actually find it easier if you emphasize the first note of each bar and also the A flats. So this second bit, so we've identified the first bit, the difficulty in the first bit, which is sort of fiddling around G, A flat, B flat. Now the next bit has you fiddling around with E flats to Fs. Which is fun, again, because you're moving 3 fingers at a time, and they're not usually fingers that like to move all that much. So we'll keep it on 60. So you've got the difficulty going in this hand, and then it goes to the right hand in the second bit. So if we take the first 2 phrases, all right. Now, this next bit, let me just pick it out. This next bit comes from the middle of the excerpt, except instead of starting on a D, we're starting on a C. And then once we've done with the C, we then start on an E flat. So we're not quite doing it yet. That does come later in the study. And again, you've got a lot of finger pinky work. I'll just keep the metronome slow so you can see what I'm doing. So again, you know, it's a lot of pinky work. Just watch my pinkies again. Now this next one is an E, starts on an E flat. And as well as this sort of pinky work, you've got that nasty A to A flat to B flat staff. So again, you've got stuff with the right hand and stuff with the left hand. As well as a few accidentals to worry about. Okay, now we're back to the first part of it again, except we're starting on an A flat. And this is the cruncher, because there's no respite. You can see how much work I'm doing around this, which is usually a fairly shaky part of the clarinet. So, nasty, isn't it? The next bit's a little bit easier, starting on an F, although you've still got a little bit of A flat coming in there. where we first come to the theme as it is actually written in the clarinet part, starting on the D. So, which you'll probably find quite easy around this stage. You get a little bit of pinky work, but so that's the exact quote. Then we go back to that second lot of where it now starts on a B rather than the D. And again, there's a lot of pinky work. You're going to need to work out which pinky goes where and which finger you're going to use. So all sorts of pinky work there. We come back to the first. We then come to an inversion of the theme. And you're using a lot of this E flat to F to D stuff. And this is just sort of variations and a lot of pinky work. You will need to change C's there. Just watch me do that again. So the second C will have to be left hand. And again, you got the A flats and stuff. And then it goes on. And then that second part of the theme. So, this is a great study. It's number 3 of the Advanced Studies for Clarinet by Polatschek. This one is number 3, which was specifically written after Scheherazade. Let me just take it up to a slightly higher tempo, like 80s fairly. So I'll play you the excerpt and then I'll play you the study. That's the excerpt. Now I'll play you the study. So that's quite a blow, that study, but I think you'll find if you put the excerpt with the study, you'll just find playing the study a little bit easier. So I hope that's helped you. Thanks for listening and bye for now.